Hello, Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning and one of your co-hosts of the Do or Do Not podcast. And this is...
Hello, I'm Brad Erie, owner of Nothing.
Yeah.
Owner of Sorrow and Despair.
Owner of Weak Elbows and Shoulders.
Weak Elbows and Shoulders.
All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit of Spartan Race.
Coming
this
up
weekend I have two races. Brad has one. Team No Mercy will be attacking the Spartan Sprint for the NorCal race, and I'll be doing the 10K, the super the day before, and then I'll do the 5K. That's what a sprint is, 5K Spartan race on Sunday. And then we'll talk a little Star Wars. I'm currently started reading Vector Prime.
Oh my gosh.
So the new Jedi Order, I think it's called. It's where the Yugosong Vong invade our galaxy.
It's going to be great.
So, but we could talk about some stuff. We've talked quite a bit about like legends and dumb people who don't think legends are worth reading, and they think the sequel trilogy are great. We talked a little bit about that. We talked about Luke Skywalker last time. So there's so many subjects we could talk about. But first, we're going to talk a little Spartan Race.
Woohoo!
So back in 2018, started leading teams through the Spartan Race. Had a lot of fun doing it. Obstacle course racing is what it is. So basically you have a distance. And back then it used to be, they didn't call it a 5, 10K half marathon. They just called them sprint, supers, and beasts. And then there's ultras. Ultras are a marathon distance, or actually over a marathon distance. I think it's like 30 miles or so. So a little bit longer than a marathon. So you got 5K, 10K, and then a half marathon, 21K. And then you have the ultras, which are basically the marathon of Spartan Race.
Have you done an ultra?
Hell to the no.
Weak.
I have no desire to do an ultra. I remember the first beast I did. I go, they want me to go back out and do that again if I'm an ultra runner? This is at the World Championships in 2019. Like me and the guy I did the beast with, Justin, we were just like, who would do that? This is brutal enough as it is. Basically, you just have a really long day. You see a lot of like ultra guys, not the top-notch guys, but most ultra people are just walking the course for the whole day. They're out there basically from 6 in the morning and the cutoff I think is like 7 o'clock at night. And a lot of them are out there till they're, for instance, like I'd say like most, if you're running a beast course, most average people are finishing like 3:30, 3:15, something like 3 hours. And then, if you were to go right back out and try to run that again, your time would drop significantly.
Oh, yeah.
Like my calves were smoked by the end of it and stuff. But if you went out and were just running it, but the ultras are like crazy. So they're kind of all day events. They stop usually in between. They have they have their own little area where they refuel. They have, food, drinks. They have like a pit crew. Some of them have people there helping them.
I like that they have those at the 5K too. I always thought that was funny. Like you're running in the 5K in a sprint, and they have like a little table with
they have water table. Yeah, no, that's just.
I'm like, all right, you can't hold it for an hour. Yeah,
but that's just like for hydration and those type of things, and I think they're pretty obligated to do that. But it's actually nice. Like I'll just wear it. I just like because it'll have some of my stuff on there. I'll just wear my hydro pack on Saturday, or on Saturday it's a 10K, so I'll bring my hydro pack.
Now, do you put scotch in there in your hydro pack?
No, I put some water, I put some liquid IV, and that's it.
All right.
And for the beast, I had food in my hydro pack too, because it was after doing some penalty loops because my calves were smoked and I couldn't do some of the obstacles I would normally be able to do.
Excuses. Soft.
Yeah. Me and about 25% of the other people out there on that course, everybody was like limping, and because that was brutal. And the only reason my calves gave out are because my hip was messed up and I wasn't able to run for weeks before that race. So then I go out there and I haven't put in the miles that I should have been able to put in, that I was putting in a month earlier. I wasn't able to put those in, so my calves were toast. I had to walk the last 3.5 miles of that race, and I was making such good time. The first 5 miles of that beast race, I was flying from the speed I was like projecting out. I was like, oh crap, I'm going to finish maybe in.
You got cocky, is what I'm hearing. You went and got a little cocky.
I was just like really surprised about how good I felt. I was feeling good, and then we hit the more mountainous areas, and I was told from the year before, oh, there's not very many hills. There's not very, and guess what? Spartan like changed it up and sent down a different path on the slow course, and so there's a lot more really steep hills and steep declines and stuff. And I wasn't expecting that. So it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't anything like Tahoe was, or even Los Olivos was when I did those other beasts, but it was rough. It was rough, especially when for the 2 months before I was doing like 18 to 20 miles a week. And then my hips started giving me problems and I was down to doing 4 to 6 miles in a week.
That's what she said.
So that doesn't make sense. Oh, the hips?
Yeah, hips start giving trouble. I mean, come on. Is it bad that I will probably have sore hips after the 5K sprint? And now for the people who don't know, probably my mom. Well, my mom went 1 year, so she kind of knows what the deal is.
Yeah, your mom went the first time you did it. What are you going to do without her on the second race? I don't know. You might not make it.
I know. No one's going to be there cheering me on. I mean, the sprint, the workers, they just stopped caring too. Like, when I first, this is my second time, that I've been suckered. I mean, honored to do this race. The first time, they're all very like, go, you got to, burpees, penalties are over here. And then by halfway through the race, the workers are like, you know what? Who cares? Just keep running. You throw a spear and you missed it, just throw it again. We don't care. We just want this day to be over. I don't get paid enough to.
The thing that has deteriorated with Spartan Race is more of an inclusive attitude of you don't have to do the obstacles.
Yeah,
nobody's enforcing anything out there unless you're doing like Saturday. I'm doing age group, which is competitive. So there's like, I mean, I'm not going to, but if there's like, if you finish on the podium, you get a big plaque, you can win like prize money or something, in the elites, you have to have somebody counting and watching you do those. Actually, I think they set up cameras for those. I don't really pay attention because I'm never worried about being on the podium.
Same.
So if I finish in the middle of the pack in my age group, I'm pretty happy. Because I don't know, I might do well I might do pretty well this Saturday.
You're slim.
I'm in pretty good running shape right now. For a 10K, I was not for the 21K because of the hip issues. But for this one, I feel pretty good. I should be able to complete all the obstacles without any penalties, except for maybe I barely missed the spear throw because they made it harder it's not the only thing Spartan Race has made harder is now. Like when I threw it at the beast, I hit right at the edge of the wood and the hay because now they put a circle around it, a target like over it. And it would have been a good hit before, but it was not a good hit. I hit the wood right at the edge of the wood.
Do or do not, man.
I was not. I was like going, God, I have to do another penalty lap. And I don't miss the spear throw very often. I do miss it on occasion, but, I used to practice it quite a bit in my backyard because I just had archery set up back there. And so I would just.
That's why your kids are very mobile because you used to be like, honey, just go out there and start dodging. My daughter is
8 months pregnant or over 8 months pregnant, and my son isn't mobile at all. Well, he walks to work every day, I guess.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah. But that was irritating. But Spartan Race for the open races, which is what we're doing on Saturday with the team. I mean, there's people out there that just walk the course and they don't do any obstacles. And they didn't train at all for the course. And it's like Spartan seems to want that. The owner doesn't talk that way. He still talks, the tough talk, Joe DeSena or DeSana, whatever. He talks like I see him on stuff, and he talks and they do these death races and stuff. But let me tell you, I don't know if it's because they just have to get volunteers and volunteers are told not to enforce things or not to bother people and stuff. They don't do burpees anymore.
Thank God.
They do penalty loops. Which is fine, but you know how many people walk right past the penalty loop and go to the next thing when you're out there in an open race? It's why I don't like doing open races, and I wouldn't do it except we're leading the team through.
Yeah,
but it's nice when you have a team because I can push I can push this guy over a wall, and allow some of the other people to step up on my leg and get over the wall, and nobody's like, no, you can't do that. If you can't do it, you got to do it. You help each other as a team. So that's one nice thing. Yeah. But we trained for 2 months for it. I mean, everybody grip strength doubled or at least increased by 20 or 30 seconds for almost everybody on the team. And it was it's a good way to get out there and get in shape. A lot of the people are in way better shape than they were.
Yeah.
To the people on the team, the first time they did Training Hill, which is close to a 4-mile loop.
Yeah.
The first time they did it took them 1 hour and 45 minutes or something like that, or 1 hour 35, I can't remember. And they just did it in 1 hour and 13. So I mean, that's a big improvement,
huge improvements
in a couple month period. And we ran most weekends. So, and during the Wednesday, we had two workout, 2 hours a week, just focused on Spartan training, a lot of grip strength, a lot of carrying heavy stuff, and then we would run outside.
Well,
so
you even had Matt Double T, who the first Spartan training could barely hold on to a rope. Now he's climbing like a spider monkey.
Oh yeah. He's gonna complete the rope climb on.
I think amazing.
So when I thought about the training and the past years and stuff, because we always went over to my house and practiced the spear throw and stuff, and I thought,
missed your daughter by that.
I just don't. And I've hit the spear throw. I think I've done 13 races, and I think I've hit it 9 out of the 13. And the first time I never practiced it once.
Yeah,
and I almost hit it. I hit the edge of the foam padding that day when I threw it. And it just didn't quite stick. But after I practiced, I hit it. I think I had a streak of like 6 in a row.
Look,
I stuck the spear throw, and stuck it really well. And then I had some hiccups where I just got off on my throws and I missed a few. But
the only time I hit a spear throw was during the race. When we were practicing at your house, I was hitting your fence. I was hitting 3 feet before your thing, and then I just went and I just chucked it because I'm like, I'm not gonna hit it, and it stuck. And then I was so proud until I realized that people were throwing 5 or 6 times until they hit it next to me. And I'm like, well,
and that was the thing. Like this one girl, like if you're running out there and you're trying to do this, is why you don't run open races if you want to get a good time, because there's no real enforcement of the rules. There might be somebody over on one end, one volunteer going, just throw it once. And these idiots are throwing. One girl threw it 3 times, and I grabbed it out of her hand and said, you get one shot. It's my turn. You're holding up this whole line.
Yeah.
And she just goes, huh, and just walked away, because I was the one enforcing the rules, and I was nice. I let her throw it a couple times, and I was like, I'll let her throw it another time, the second time. And then she goes and grabs it a third time and throws it. And then I walked up and I said, hey, and I grabbed the little string from her and I pulled it back. And I said, you get one shot. We were nice and let you do a few others, but you can't, hold up a whole line for it.
Yeah, it drove me crazy because I'm like, how many more people would have to do penalties if they had the one shot? And here I thought I was going to cut in front of everybody and make good time because I got it my first throw. And oh no, everyone's either
here's the thing,
doing it multiple times or just walking right by.
Spartan Race is fun. I like part of this is to say we're sitting here ripping on it, but Spartan Race is a lot of fun. And if fitness should be fun. Yeah. It should be challenging and hard, but it should be fun too. It should be something you go, oh, I feel really accomplished after doing it. And so we're kind of saying the bad parts of the people don't train for it. They don't prepare for it. They go out and just, oh, let's go do a Spartan race. This looks fun. And then they get out there and go, this is really hard. How many times I've heard, I didn't realize some lady who's 5'5" and weighs 225 pounds is walking and going, I didn't realize this would be so hard. It's like, yeah, it's a race. It's an obstacle course race. Yeah. You got to prepare for it. You can't, it's not a walk in the park. It's not taking your dog out for a jog, but then people just don't treat it with any competitive focus. Like with me, it's like you should be challenging yourself, even though maybe you can't do the monkey bars or you can't do the multi-rig. Challenge yourself to get over, a 4-foot hurdle. Challenge yourself to climb up the cargo net and get over the top of it. Carry the Atlas ball. Challenge yourself to do things that you don't think you can do, but don't just laugh it off and make it a goofy situation because my boyfriend said I should come out and do it with him. Then you're holding everybody up and being a pain in the butt. That's why I do like Saturday morning. My race starts at 7:30 in the morning for the 50 to 55 year olds. So
you should win it because this is as early into this 50 to 55 as you're going to get.
Yeah, and there's guys out there that like. Now here's the thing: if it was a CrossFit competition, with these like a lot of them cannot, like you see them struggle to lift up the Atlas ball. They're like runners. They're really good runners. They're out running every day, trail running. They're the guys that fly past you when you're out on a trail run and you're going as fast as I can. And this guy just blew past me because all they do, they weigh, $150 and they run, like nonstop. They have no muscle on their body whatsoever.
And they try to pick up a 70-pound concrete ball.
Oh yeah. When I pick it up and put it on my shoulders, I always have people go, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, because I lift weights.
Yeah.
I don't just run, but with that being said, there's guys that just run a lot of the course is running. I mean, there's 20 obstacles we're doing on the sprint. And then I think there's 28 maybe, I think, for the super the day before. So I'll go out and we got a 6-mile run, 6.2 miles and 28 obstacles. And there's so many times that guys and girls, like, especially because I go out in my age group, but then there's other age groups. The elites go before all of us. Yeah. And then all the other age groups. So let's say you get like, a
35-year-old running right by you.
And you got like people like, especially in the open race too, there'll be like people that are good runners. Like you'll have a girl who is like, 5'8", weighs 115 pounds and she's running. Then you get up to the wall and she can't get over it.
Yeah. That's when you catch up.
Fly over. Yeah. Like there's so many times that happens. But it's not all running. That's what's great about obstacle course racing is there's obstacles you have to get past. And if you don't get past them, they used to make you do 30 burpees. So it was a consequence. Now you got these stupid penalty laps. And the only thing I can think of is they used to have surveys that came out and was after every race and what did you not like about it? Burpees. And everybody complained about burpees.
In the mud.
Okay, then reduce them to 20.
Yeah.
instead of 30. But don't start doing these weak ass penalty loops.
Well, in 5 years,
I will say this
penalty snuggles
on the Beast. A couple of the penalty loops were straight down a hill and straight back up. They were hard penalty loops, but in general, most of the penalty loops were just they're just more distance they're adding on, but they're not really causing you too much of a suffering to happen. 20 burpees or 30 burpees,
those add up fast.
They add up real quick. We're used to, especially if you're in a competitive race, it really screw you up. I mean, that's why I think that a little bit of Spartan's gotten too soft. I mean, but then again, our whole country's gone soft. So what are we going to say?
I just want to say that one of the things I really liked about the sprint, even though we crapped on it for a while, is the amount of help and positivity you get during the race. So, when we go in a group, like you said last night, you get turtles and rabbits, and like our group just kind of scatters into the whatever, and Casey just kind of sits at the end and makes sure that everyone lives to tell the day.
Yes, on the open race, on the team race, I stay with the slowest people to make sure they get through the race. I don't care about my time.
It's so I know I was running, and if I would get into a problem, I had 50 strangers, help me get over this cargo net because you go up like 20 feet straight up.
Why did they have to help you get over the easy ass cargo net?
I might be afraid of heights, and I had people like look at me and they're helping me, and it was like this whole group effort to get everybody. And I know one of the things. You were trying to pull me over, and like 2 other guys helped you pull me over. Like, they weren't in our team.
Yeah.
It's all, everyone helps everybody. And you don't get that if it's like a straight timing thing. You're just kind of trying to get there yourself. I know when we were getting people over the wall, I mean, me and you were letting this, I don't know if you remember, but there was like this Latino group, and you were letting people go over your knee a couple times, and I was doing it too. And it was like, I don't know, it wasn't a tall wall for us because we're kind of tall, but like we were just helping people, and then people would help me, and everyone was just kind of helping. And then when it was over, I was getting hugged and high five from guys and girls I didn't know. They're just like, congratulations. Like, you come out and you're covered with dirt and mud and sweat. And it was, that's the part that's really fun. That, I'm sure that these people, if they were being in a competitive nature of like trying to get their own personal times, would not stop to help me climb over a cargo net. They would just fly over there. And the sprint, they don't enforce half the stuff. I remember
it's not the sprint; it's just the open.
Yeah,
sprint.
The open. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was doing all the burpees, and I realized that no one else was doing them with me.
Yes.
And so like halfway through the race, I'm like, why am I doing the burpees? but you give that up for the people to help you and be like, come on, you can do it. Like I was being cheered on by people who never met me before at the final thing. They're like these other group of guys and girls were cheering me on because I was really struggling doing this one thing, and they were all very supportive. And I was like, thank you. And so it's good and bad. It's really fun.
It's not even
around.
bad. Like we were actually ripping on it. But
yeah,
it's more the stuff that
because
there's some lame people out there on the course, just like with anything in life. There's some lame people out there that are irritating and who aren't taking anything seriously, and they get in your way, and they only care about themselves. But there's way more people out there, like Brad said, that are helping you out. Like I remember the first time I ever did it, just going over the 7-foot wall. I was coming up to it and I go, oh, I better wait because it was the first time we'd ever done it. But I was like, I can go over. I mean, I was a police officer for a while, and you have to jump over walls, you know, in police academy and stuff. You have to learn how to go over walls. But anyway, I don't even use the technique they would teach because I'm tall and strong, and I could just jump up and push myself up and get over the wall.
Humble brag.
Yeah. It's just the truth. So if you have decent upper body strength and you don't weigh too much. Right now, Brad is deficient in some areas. So he's going to need some help. But I remember the first time, like Craig, who did the first group, we both got down with our knees, like you were saying, like we did at that race too. And then it was like people lined up, like we were just trying to help our own team over. And then like people lined up and we just kept like helping them up. Yeah. I mean, and after about 9 people, I was like, all right, my leg's starting to get sore from people stepping with their shoes on my leg. And I was like, all right. And the rest of the team was headed up the barbed wire crawl. And I was just like, all right, I'm done. You guys are gonna have to figure it out on your own. So I helped bend down. Yeah, somebody else drop a knee. But yeah, I've done that. I've helped a lot of people over that I don't know at all. And you meet people out in the course and you're kind of like running at the same pace, or you're kind of staying in the same zone. Then you strike up conversations with them. It's a fun place. It's a fun place to do things and get a good workout in. And there's a lot of positives. A great community. I mean, we were kind of talking some shit about the things we don't like about the open race. But the reason why I do the age group races are because even though the opens, there's not as much rule. There's actually people like you have to be serious about, that race. But it's like people that are out there are doing everything right. Yeah. They're actually following all the rules. They're competitively wanting to push themselves. So there's different levels to it. So you can start out doing the open races and then you might go, oh, I think that I'm ready to jump up and do some competitive races. And so then
just to see where I land.
And when I say competitive, it doesn't matter if I come in towards the end of my age group. It doesn't matter. No.
I'll laugh at you, but
it does. I go out there and I push myself as hard as I can go that day. And I think I may put up a decent time this time because I haven't done a bunch of supers. I've only done 2 supers in the past. That's why this will be my 3rd super. It'll be my 3rd trifecta.
You'll be in the top 40. I need you to
I've done a bunch of sprints because I lead the team through, and I like doing the stadium races. So I went down and I've done 3 stadium races. They don't have it in San Francisco anymore, but I went down and did those. I like those because there's no dunk wall. But Sarah texted me earlier today saying the dunk wall is actually in the lake.
Oh my gosh.
So there won't be like a hole dug with dirty water in it. It'll be a lake, although nuclear lake out at Rancho Seco.
That sounds horrible.
Who knows? You might be getting some extra radiation this weekend.
That's
the NorCal race is in the Rancho Seco Park, and Rancho Seco used to be where our nuclear power plant was in Sacramento area.
Great. You know what? Hey, it's not like we can't lose much more of our hair.
I know. We don't have to worry about losing any hair. But Spartan Race is a lot of fun. So we'll have some pictures, and maybe next podcast we do afterwards when we have our pictures. We will talk about it. Brad will post. We'll talk about it, and we'll say here's some pictures, and Brad will insert them in, and you guys can check out some of the team pictures that we have. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun training for it this year. I actually was questioning whether I'd lead a team through this year, and then I decided to do it.
We have a good group.
It's a good group. It's a good group.
This is probably the most healthy, competitive, all-around group.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I think speed-wise, we're a little faster than some other years. But I mean, everybody's made a lot of progress. But every year, everybody makes good progress. I mean, look at somebody like Cindy. Look how much better she got the second time. You weren't there for the second time. When she did the stadium race, she was like running faster than like 3 or 4 people on the team. But
Cindy's
the first
a
time she was
machine.
the slowest. And so she made huge progress, like from one Spartan race to another, and just being in shape. She has a really good trainer though. So
well, it
could be a reason why. So that's what we're doing this weekend. I have 2 races. Brad has 1. Team No Mercy. If you are going, actually this podcast won't come out till after we still have. We're banking them now. We still have one to put out next week. This will be like a week after or a week and a half after.
I might put out the other one today.
Yeah. So
and then this will be out right after we get back.
Yeah. So
if I still have any strength left in my clicking arms.
Yeah. Brad's on the computer going
in with gonna have to type. I'm going in hurt. Like I'm like 50% power. Like the person you really need to be praying for is Casey, because with my hurt arm and shoulder, he's gonna have to push my body.
Your fear of heights.
Yeah, all over this dumb course.
What Brad doesn't know is I'm just gonna take off fast.
He's gonna be one of the rabbits.
Where were you, Casey? I go outside right behind you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around and you're gone. I don't know
where'd Casey go.
I'm just gonna do a lot of. I've been really pushing hard on the cardio in my endurance.
Brad's gonna be doing a lot of penalty.
I'll be doing a lot of penalty loops.
His shoulders and elbows are pretty messed up, but you know what? To his credit, he's sacking up.
That's right.
Showing up.
I really could have called off. I would have had good reason, but no, I'm doing this race whether it kills me or not.
Yeah. So we'll update you guys on a future podcast about that. But I think that this is one of my theories and my reasoning in fitness is you find stuff you like to do that's fun. And Spartan Race is one of those things that
is so fun.
And there's people that go out and race like 50 races a year. They travel all over the country racing Spartan races. I've only ever done all of them have been pretty close. They're all in the state of California.
Yeah, but some of those are hours of driving. Yeah,
I think Squaw Valley is still, or the Palisades is still in California, but it's right at the border. Yeah. But that's the farthest I traveled was down almost to Santa Barbara. I mean, I just went to San Luis Obispo, and that was a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah, so it's not like you're just driving 20 minutes.
I've went to some farther Spartan races, but a lot of people travel all over the country and do them. Yeah. And it's just, and there's competitions, and then also there's DecaFit, which is sprung out of Spartan, which is a kind of a functional fitness contest, and I've done a couple of those too.
That's next on my list is to do it.
Yeah, you got to get the shoulders and arms fixed up a little bit better before you can do one of those, because there's upper body strength stuff you actually have to do in those.
I don't have to show the guns.
If I feel good enough after this weekend of running, if on Monday or Tuesday I'm going, I'm not feeling that bad. The following weekend there's a Deca mile. There's a new gym in Folsom doing Deca.
Yeah.
And so they're doing a Deca mile. It's the only one I haven't done yet because I did the fit in April, then I did the strong, and I was scheduled to do the mile again, but then I got
crazy.
I was really sick, so I didn't do it, and so I need to do. That's the only one I have left for my trifecta marks for Deca Fit. But just do these fun things. Go out and do it. Do 5 and 10Ks. There seems to be one every weekend.
Start with the 5K open. It is so much fun. That'll get you completely enthused to go do the harder ones. It is a blast. Highly recommend it. I mean, I really thought after I remember my first time, I was so nervous the night before. I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? There's no way I'm going to do it. And by the end, I'm like, all right, I'm in. I'm in. Let's do it again. It's fun. I mean, Sarah, she just does it all the time now.
She's really into it. Like with me, I don't think I'm going to do any more beasts, because every time I train for a beast, the last 2 beasts I've trained for, I want to go out and do well at them.
Yeah.
And so I start training hard for them. And then it's the running long distances. My body starts having all kinds of issues that
you don't have a runner's body.
Well, I do. I actually used to have a very lean, like running body, runner's body.
Build.
I have more muscle on my body because I worked really hard to put muscle on my body, but not even close as much as I used to have on it. But the whole point is, every time I go, I'm 50 years old, and every time I go out and I start putting in, 20 miles a week, on runs, my body starts having issues and breaking down. Like, I was having psoas issues and I'm having hip issues.
Your body's like, dude, we're old. You got
stop running all these miles,
Yeah.
And so I'm actually not planning on doing any more beast. I may do some more sprints and supers, and DecaFit I definitely want to do more of. These functional fitness races. If Hydrox comes, those things I look at and I go, these are things that I don't have to. You have to put miles in and you have to run, but you don't have to go out and trail run. You don't have to do these things if you want to be better at them. And so I like to go out for 4 miles on a weekend and do a trail run. I don't want to go out and put 6 miles in one day and 5 miles in the next, and then to be building up my endurance.
I was doing like 7 miles a run and like 2 or 3 of those runs a week. And my body was the same way. My body's like, look, man, we're not used to this anymore. We're 50.
If you want to be good at it, you just have to build up the pain tolerance and stuff. The thing is I do carry more weight than like when I'm out running and somebody runs past me, they almost always, you look at them and go, well, I bet that guy can't.
You would have to lose probably another 20 pounds.
That guy couldn't squat 300 pounds.
No.
I'll guarantee you that.
No.
That guy couldn't bench 225, So I can't, actually, I don't even know if it's been 3 months since I've really done heavy weight. I'll throw a few sets in there, but all this endurance training I've been doing, I've definitely lost muscle mass. The next 2 or 3 months, I'm going to be working on just lifting weights.
Me too.
And maybe I'll fly down to Mexico and buy some Mexican supplements.
I know. Well, I'm already taking way over the amount of.
I've never done that. I would never do it. I just joke about it, but I am taking some over the counter.
Wink.
The momentous stuff is actually, it's not powerful, but I do notice a difference, and I'm going to cycle off of it for a while because I've been taking it for like a year straight. And I think that it has more benefit when you're not on it all the time. I got off of it for about a month, and then I got back on it again. But it's just pills, Tonga Ali, Fondoja, Aresti. And so and I take some like things that stimulate your HGH when you go to sleep. I take a couple pills before I go to sleep every night.
Uppers, downers.
No, just to promote
speed.
HGH growth or production in your body.
I take a good hit of meth right before I go out on the trail, and I just fly right through it, man. Uppers, take a little downers at night.
You got to be careful saying that because you kind of look like you're pale, thin. You're like,
Well, first he said I was thin, so that's. There you go.
Well, you're much thinner than you used to be.
That is true,
and you're definitely pale.
This is my summer. This is my summer tan still.
Yeah. So we've been talking a lot of fitness stuff, but and talking a lot about ourselves. But
why not? We got a race in 2 days.
I guess I don't know how interesting that is, but
well, there are 6 listeners.
Hey,
might drop down.
We might want to get to 7 or 8 listeners.
It might drop down to 4 this week. But I mean, it is what it is. We're excited.
Well, I'm going to go through. Like I'm going to go after. I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm going to probably running back-to-back races. I'm sure by Monday, and I have a massage on Tuesday. So by next Wednesday, I'm going to get in. I'm just going to start. I definitely have noticed my leg strength and my hip strength have dropped down. Yeah, because I haven't done a lot of heavy weight training with my lower body.
What you've done to your body is pretty unique. People who aren't watching YouTube and haven't known Casey forever, like Casey used to be much bigger and beefier, and he's really slimmed his body down for this. Like you were what last year? You were probably what 215, 220. Like you were.
About actually like 4 months ago, or is that when I started? No, I started after the DECA race in April. I was 217.8.
Yeah,
and I got down. The lowest I've weighed in is 202.
That's crazy.
0.2.
And it's not like you had a large body fat percentage anyway.
No, so but I was just not focusing on my eating very well, and also like I wanted to do well. Like this beast that I did, I started really preparing for it in advance, and I wanted to do well at it. And I got to be lean to do well at it because you don't want to carry that extra weight. Think about carrying an extra. Like if I hadn't lost any weight, 202, 203, or 216, 217, maybe 218. There's a big difference when you start swinging across bars and running and pounding your body. So I wanted to be really good for that race. I was really going, all right, I want to do, if I'm slow, I want to do 3 hours and 30 minutes. And but I was shooting for maybe like a 3-hour beast, and then I just had so many issues.
Yep.
That I didn't pay off in the long run. But
you look good. You look svelte.
Oh, I definitely have, and I don't want to gain a bunch of like fat back. I'm still going to eat really clean and healthy. Shout out to Factor Meals, which I've been eating for a while now, for about a month, 6 weeks.
Is that one of those delivery meal services?
Just they send it to your house. It's called Factor, and the food is really good and it's proportional. And then I used to like cook on the weekends, and I'd food prep, and I'd have a bunch of food made for like 3 days, maybe 4 days at the most. And then when it ran out, then I would get lazy and I'd usually order DoorDash or something at night because I was just tired and I didn't want to, make any food.
Factor,
and so I started getting them, and it makes it so, and their food's really good. It's really easy to heat up, and it's really helped me maintain. So I think going into the new year, I'm still going to eat clean and healthy. I'm just going to start lifting weights more and eating a few more calories coming from, shakes and protein, those type of meals. Just because I'm going to be doing a lot more weight training and just making sure I'm taking muscle building supplements.
That was my plan too. You're stealing all my thunder. I do like that. When this is over, give me that info and I'll go check them out.
Oh, for Factor? Yeah.
Yeah. Cause, that's my problem too. Cause I spend so much time cooking for the kids that I'm like, I'm just going to finish what they don't eat instead of just cooking my own meal. It is
so easy. And then when you look at, like, if you DoorDash 2 or 3 times a week, look at how much that costs.
Yeah.
I started comparing the cost of when I was DoorDashing as opposed to the Factor, getting 10 Factor meals cost.
Yeah.
It was cheaper to get the 10 Factor meals.
Oh, I'm sold.
I'm sold. So I think it's like $110 for their 10 meals or whatever I get shipped to me each week. So then I got 10 meals covered. And so then let's say, I cook on a Saturday or Sunday or something, and I make some food. I don't have to make a bunch of it because I know I have these other meals. So then it's more enjoyable. So
see, right now I work out to lose fat and maintain what little muscle I have. After this race in the new year, I want to just work out just for muscle. Like, I want to be able to put more calories in and just, start lifting heavier. I'm not going to say heavy like you.
Well, the problem is you have to really, your shoulders.
I got to strengthen my shoulders. Yeah.
So you have to do a lot of rehabilitation type stuff, and you got to like stuff like in the recoup room, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be using the recoup room a little bit on Wednesday, probably. I'll be suction cupping.
Yeah.
You should be charging me that $50 to get me in there, because I'll just be all.
Yeah, it works.
It does.
You got to take care. You got to work out hard, but you got to take care of your body just as hard. So you got to do stuff, especially when you're our age.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're a spring chicken to me.
So have you ever read any? So that's all of our, like, this whole
podcast our Spartan
is pretty much fitness related, especially coming up. Like, this is the month where people do not hardly work out.
Yeah.
And then next month, everybody's like, I got to get in shape. And so this is actually a good talk about other alternative fitness stuff, like obstacle course racing and training for it. And working with trainers to do these things too.
This race is what kept me fit through pretty much Thanksgiving and Halloween candy, because I'm like, I can't let myself go because I got to do this race.
Yeah, like after that beast race, I gained 3 or 4 pounds, and now I'm like slowly. I think I lost 1 pound of it because I just I went like, all right, I'm gonna eat a little, and then I was like, all right, I'm not gonna eat anymore because I ate too much for a few weeks there. Like, I was
after the race, I'm definitely going to splurge a little bit.
Yeah. For me, it's been the peppermint bark ice cream from Haagen-Dazs.
You are a sucker for that.
It's so good. It's the best. But anyway, we got fitness stuff coming up. So these are things you can do. Like, I have people come to me and have different fitness goals. I have people go, I want to do a Spartan race. All right, great. But I have people like, I want to do a marathon. I want to put muscle on. I want to do a bikini contest. I want to do a figure contest.
I'm all in that bikini contest, bro.
Yeah. I want to be an all-natural body. I don't do a lot of bodybuilding training. It's not my forte. I've never done a contest, and a lot of times I don't want to help people do things that I've never done. But I will help people put on muscle mass or lean out some before, or focus on their nutrition and what they're doing. But I have people with all these different goals that come in, and some of it's just, I want to be able to vacuum the whole house without stopping and taking a break. Because I'm 65 years old and I don't ever work out and I'm completely out of shape. Those are good goals too. But stuff like next year I want to run the CIM. Well, if you're really out of shape and you haven't been a runner and you've never done any running, you need to start now if you want to run the CIM next year. You know, it's like you can't wait to the last second. So you got to do some prep. So pick out something this year coming up, like in the new year, go, I want to race. Don't make it, unless you're going to do it soon or depending on your fitness level, you have to judge those things, you know, and if you have any questions, you can always,
so you're set.
You can always get on rosevillesc.com and send me a message and say, hey, is this realistic? You can say, hey, I'm 5'7", I weigh 210 pounds. I haven't worked out in like 5 years. Do you think
it's a reasonable goal?
Do you think it's realistic for me to run a marathon in a month? I'll be like, no. You might be realistic to run a marathon at the end of next year, the CIM in December of next year. I won't be running with you because I do not want to run a marathon and I have no desire to. It makes me get nauseous. But I just don't like running. I do it as a necessity. I like trail running all right. I don't mind going out in the mountains and going on trail runs, but I don't like running on the roads. It really jacks me up.
But it's nice to, like how I told you, like I was thinking about next year, to have a trainer be like, yeah, I can help you go there. Like we can.
Yeah. And it's like
so
setting a plan.
I kind of want this year. And Casey's like, let's do it. Let's make a plan.
I need to lose this weight. I'll be like, you got, all right, you're 210 pounds. You want to run a marathon. We need to get you down to like 145, 150 by December of next year.
Yeah.
We need to have you running 5Ks coming up here in the next couple months, even running 5Ks that aren't competitive, because there's so many of those things. And then you start getting used to going out and running with people, you know, and then building up your strength and your muscles and your legs and your hips and your lower back, you know, and there's all these different goals that you can have. There's some people that may go, I want to be I want to play softball on my softball team. I had a knee injury and now I want to get back into it, you know, this next year. Set goals like that are fun, the things that you really want to do, that you have a passion for. And then the fitness stuff can enhance it and make it better and get you to the point that you want to be at.
Or my autistic 7.5-year-old son is taking jujitsu and I need to be able to.
You better take jiu-jitsu too, or he'll be choking your ass out.
I need to be able to keep him off me as I get older and he just gets stronger.
Yeah, you're gonna need to take some jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
because just getting stronger doesn't necessarily help.
That's true.
Jiu-jitsu evens the playing field. Sometimes stronger guys can get beat by weaker guys because the weaker guys have better technique.
So he was fighting. Well, they're not fighting, but he was sparring with another child, and the sensei was like, "Okay, enough." And my son just kept going and going and going, and he's like, "Enough, enough, enough." And he pulled Maddox aside, and he knows Maddox is autistic. And he's like, Maddox, why are you still doing this? And Maddox looked at him and says, I don't quit. I never quit. And I'm like, that's my boy.
Brad's all.
That's no mercy. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's all fun and good until he's wailing on Dad. And I'm like, okay, stop. And he's like,
I don't quit.
Yeah.
Dad's like,
I don't quit. I'm not a quitter.
Looks like an MMA fight where the ref doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And the guy's just
tapping out.
Blood spewing out of the cage.
Yeah. I was so proud. It was hard for me to be like,
you better stop watching those jiu-jitsu classes and join in on those
I know.
Really. It's no joke, man. You'll go. There's times where, like, when I used to do jiu-jitsu, it's been 10 years since I did jiu-jitsu. But when I would do it, and I had a great base because I wrestled for a lot of years, but I would go in there and, like, you're going against somebody and you're stronger, and I'm a better grappler. I'm a better wrestler. I can control position and stuff. But some of those people that are real good and technical, like, they'll catch you.
Yeah,
you know, they're setting stuff up ahead of you. Like, I'm like, oh, they can't do that. They can't. And then, like, I had a dude that looked like, you know, a complete nerd.
Yeah.
And, you know, with jiu-jitsu, there's not, you know, I can't just go boom and punch him in the face. You know, like, you're grappling. It's all about submissions, control, and those things. So
pickle spots.
So there's multiple times I had guys that I was a way better, like, dominating them on the ground, but then they would catch me in a submission. You know, it's very humbling. You know, you go, I weigh stronger, I weigh this.
Okay.
Maddox is 7 years old, but pretty soon,
he's
going to catch you, and he's going to be choking you, and he won't quit. And there's like,
no, he's a big 7 too.
51-year-old man choked to death by his son.
His 8-year-old
because his son didn't quit.
Yep, I don't quit. Dad.
All right, so that's the end of the show today. I got to get back to training clients. So check out rosevillesc.com for all your fitness needs here in the Roseville, Rockland, Placer County area.
Wish us luck.
I also do remote training. I help people out with that too, if you're interested. And I do nutrition for people also.
He does.
All right, we're out. We'll see you next week.
Boom.